Take 5. I am joined by Jordan, Phil, and Seth. Got, doing a, little bit of falling or balling here with sophomore wide receivers. We're going to keep, the main sophomore studs out of it, like Malik, Nabers, Lad McConkey, Brian Thomas Jr. Got some other guys kind of looking for those like Jackson Smith, Najigba type sophomores, that take that bounce, their second step. Kind of looking for that second year guys that can kind of, get late in drafts, maybe win you a league, stuff like that. Is that a better way to describe it, Jordan, since I'm a little tongue-tied tonight?
Yeah, I would say that, but also like we saw such a strong rookie wide receiver class, like guys who take a step back. Like, I don't know, like you mentioned Lad McConkey. I could see him taking a step back. Like, I don't know how sustainable would he, considering they have Mike Williams is back there and like there's just other guys. And I don't know, like he's one, the other guys you mentioned, like a Nabers and a Brian Thomas, they feel like the part of a wide receiver one, on their team. But I think also like there's that too, like guys who take a step back and maybe guys like Nabers and Thomas do take a step back. I don't know about Nabers, but maybe Thomas does.
Okay, we can just get the elephant, out of the bag here with Nabers and Jameis Winston. I think he
elephant out of the bag. Also, what?
I'm tired. Sorry. So,
dude, too much late night Fortnite, huh?
Yeah, and no, I wish it was Fortnite. It's just
early morning March Madness. Have you and Jordan just been? It's so crazy that you stay in a tent in Jordan's yard for all of March Madness, so you guys can watch all the games together. It's so weird.
I am not. Awful. That sounds terrible. I'm not breaking this down. We're gonna jump right into this, Phil. We can go to the huddle, break down Jordan's March Madness addiction, Seth's anime addiction, and then even the huddle with our things we would like to eat before our last meal.
Not an addiction.
Phil, let's go falling or balling here right now.
Let's go. You want to go falling or balling? All right.
Yeah, jump right into it.
All right, so we're going to start with McConkey. Fallen. I like going with McConkey, falling or balling.
Jordan, I just want to say thank you for listening to me. And Seth, I'm going to just give you the benefit of the doubt. I said I was going to leave those three guys out, but we'll break it down.
I'm sorry.
Here.
I was looking up. I was pulling up.
You were too busy thinking up follow-up questions for what happened, at our camp.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem. Yeah. Well, I thought we should just get the creative juices flowing, and then we'll come back to the two others. Why don't we start with Lad? We'll talk about some others, and then we'll come back to the other randos that you guys want to talk about. How's that work for you, Jordan?
You think Lad is sustainable? Like, that's my question to you. Is that like they don't want to stereotype him, but he's not the same as like a Brian Thomas and a Nabers. Like,
yeah, and plus less competition there as well. Well, I guess they kind of have that run first team. If you would have asked me this like at the end of the regular season, I might have said I don't know if it's sustainable. But after what he did in that playoff game where he had 17 catches or something, the only reason I would think it's maybe not sustainable is maybe the defense is just so good and they run the ball so much that they don't need to throw, every single play or a bunch like that where he gets targeted like that. But I think I still see him finishing as top 15, but he was top 8 last year. Maybe the ADP.
I don't even know what he was.
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling
top
up
10,
right now.
I know for sure.
He was top 10, Seth?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to pull up his ADP right now too, but I think you have to go with – I think you got to just stay with ballin with how hot he was right there. And unless the Chargers do a serious, drastic, off-season move in the draft that can compete with him, right now it's, Quentin – if he can even catch the ball. And then Lad's just that kind of receiver, PPR leagues, I don't think it's going to be bad.
I have him as 13. Is that what you said as well, Seth?
I think he was top 10.
You thought he was top 10? I had him at half point PPR. I had him at 12.
Okay.
Maybe I'm reading his PPR.
Yeah, right now he's wide receiver 11 in best ball draft. So, yeah, it's still.
Do you think his ceiling is capped, Trent?
His ceiling might be capped. I think that'd be a good way to say it, Jordan. I don't know if I see him finishing higher than that. Like if they had an off.
Is he ever going to be? Is there a world where he's a top 5 wide receiver?
I don't think so. I don't.
But like Brian Thomas, Nabers, there is a world where those guys are top 5 wide receivers.
Do you think that Nabers could finish top 3 this year with Jameis Winston? I kind of think the potential.
I mean, we're talking about you got to be better than Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CD. Who are the other ones we mentioned last week or whenever that was? My mind is drawing a blank here. Justin Jefferson, and Puka. Like, you got to be better than all 5 of those guys.
No wide receiver has led his position in fantasy points in back-to-back seasons in the past 8 years. Who do you think the last wide receiver was to do it?
And you said it was 8 years ago?
Yeah, 8 years ago was the last time it happened. So it's been a while. So, to think that maybe Jamar Chase does it, with how bad the defense is. They do got T. Higgins. That is if he's a little more careful racing his Lambo. You see him and T. Higgins racing Lambos all over Miami. Seth, you see that? That has something you would do written all over it.
What's the answer to that question, Trent?
Antonio Brown was the last guy with Ben Roethlisberger.
The world's changed a lot in 8 years.
Yeah. I don't think we gave Ben Roethlisberger enough credit for how good he was. Mike Tomlin is living off of what Ben Roethlisberger did for him. I think you take away Big Ben, like if he would have had a better coach, I think, just of what we've seen, I don't know. I just don't think he's that good of a coach. I think he had a good QB. I think you can put him in that McCarthy category. Almost.
Well, he had wild defenses also.
He always goes over 500. Yeah, he goes 500 every year, and he's made a couple Super Bowls, right? But yeah, wild defenses is there. But McConkey ceiling, Jordan, I don't see him finishing higher than top 8. Like, it's going to have to be Chargers defense gets really bad. They start getting torched, and they got to just
touchdown variance, and the touchdown variance would have to go his way big time.
I think Harbaugh is just the type of coach that's going to run the ball when they get to the 1-yard line. Like, I think pro style, they're going to run the ball, within the 10-yard line where you're not going to get those, goal line TDs.
Well, and they have like a Quentin Johnson and Mike Williams are now way better targets in the red zone too. Like,
yeah, I still think I got to see a little bit more out of Ladd before I call him like a good red zone target, like just catching wise.
Out of Quentin, you mean?
Yeah, out of Quentin.
Quentin.
Out of Quentin. Yeah, just
but
balls.
I mean, like,
on
the frame. On 3, they're throwing a jump ball. Yeah, I mean, they're going to throw the ball to him over Ladd on a fade, right? So,
So yeah, I don't know what to say then here, falling or balling with Ladd McConkey. I'm not sure. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like I guess I would go. What I say he was getting drafted as wide receiver. What he
11.
is wide receiver 11.
I think it might
19-1.
High, but might be a tad.
Yeah, I think I'm passing him up at 11.
Okay. So, all right, I'm gonna go. Then I guess we're saying ball. We're going fallen then, right?
Sure, slightly.
Sure.
Yeah, a slight fall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do we got next, Phil?
So we want to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. next?
Yeah, you can go through those other guys we had on there too, I guess, at this point.
Cool.
Let's
go.
Yeah, I don't know where we go with those. Like, I feel like they're kind of the same category, right, Jordan? Other than maybe Nabers getting, absolutely peppered by Jameis.
Who are you talking about? Nabers and Thomas?
Like Nabers and Thomas. Do you think Thomas finishes higher than that next year? Or do you think
what did he finish this year?
I thought he was like wide receiver 4.
Right? 4?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a stretch, but I think they're both top 10 wide receivers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, harder to go. Yeah, to just aren't going to say balling like falling there though. I guess we'd be balling on that end.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal: like those guys' ceilings are incredible. Like they both could be top 5 wide receivers. Those guys could both. Either one of them could be the number 1 wide receiver. Like they're both capable of it. So it's like I'm not going to say like it's balling, but like you're probably getting drafted like 6 or 7. Wide receiver 6 or 7, but like they seriously have the ceiling to be top 5 wide receivers, if not higher.
Got it. Phil, what do we got next on this thing?
Yeah, and you didn't want to say anything. You didn't want to say anything more about Nabers. I know you're really excited about Jameis being there. You love Jameis Winston.
Yes,
and you just think
but is he for sure starting? Like, do you think he for sure starts?
They're at least, I think, going to kick the tires on him for a few games.
Well, they're going to draft a quarterback or no?
I don't know. I heard Deion Sanders say that he's hoping Shedeur goes to New York. He said that today to the Giants. I don't know if they're just thinking
they might punt this year and wait for next year.
They might. I have a hard time thinking they don't go after a quarterback, but maybe they do. I feel like Jameis is kind of that guy that you can maybe wait until your bye week and then see how you're doing.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they sign Daniel Jones to a contract last year?
How long ago was that, Jordan? Was that 2 years ago or last year?
It's 2 or 3.
Yeah,
two, I think.
Yeah,
2. I just remember being like fairly recent, and then obviously they let him go, and he's in Indianapolis now. But I mean, let's talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. Ended at wide receiver 18 last year.
Wide receiver 18 right now.
Sorry, wide receiver 18 currently. What do you I think okay, go ahead.
No, I think you got to I think we already did him earlier on this, but I think you got to go balling with Marvin Harrison Jr.
You have to go with him, right? There's no more falling for him, right?
Yeah. Just to put things in perspective here, on PFF, Jackson Smith-Njigba, his rookie season, was a 63.9 graded rookie. He finished 36 out of 85 wide receivers. This year, he finished 16th out of 98 wide receivers with an 83.5 PFF rating. I know a lot of the players don't like the PFF rating scale, but I do think it's pretty accurate with how things are going. Everyone on this list we're going over today, except 3 guys, are rated ahead of what Jackson Smith-Njigba was his rookie year. So I still think that it's within reach for Marvin Harrison Jr. to still do really good. And Kyler Murray, for whatever reason, is a top 12 fantasy QB every single year, whether that's up to his rushing upside or whatever it is. I know he has Trey McBride also, but I think Marvin Harrison going wide receiver 18 right now, I think that is good value, not great. Compared to what you were getting him last year, he was going at the turn of the first round. He's fallen back a little bit. Maybe when more people start doing these drafts, Marvin Harrison, like Jordan, do you think Marvin Harrison falls farther back when more people start doing these drafts, or do you think he jumps up more? Do you think he gets into the 25 range?
I think he falls.
Yeah, so it might be bad timing for Marvin Harrison Jr. when it comes to drafts because he wasn't even in fantasy points, he wasn't a top 25 wide receiver. If you drafted Marvin Harrison Jr., you probably lost. You did not probably win your league. He was wide receiver 29.
Game one, he went. I think was it game 1? He went absolutely off.
Game three, he had 27 fantasy points.
He just went absolutely off in week 3. The only problem with someone like Marvin Harrison, you would hate to compare him to someone like Kyle Pitts with just so much hype around him, and then he absolutely flubbed.
There's no way. There's no way.
So what do you think?
I think he balls. I think he is way better this year. He's too talented. He's just too talented. He's too skilled. He's too good at playing the wide receiver position. If he fails again this year, it's solely because of the QB play.
Yeah.
Well, no, I agree with you there, Jordan. I don't disagree with you there at all. What do you think he finishes?
Well, you compare him to Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts just sucks. Like Marvin Harrison doesn't suck. Like that's what I'm saying.
I would also say play calling plays into what Kyle Pitts' struggles are.
I think Kyle Pitts is just too much of a tweener where you don't really know what he is. Where he's not like good enough to keep him out there on like run blocking plays. Like I think he's just a weird spot. Like he's not a Brock Bowers that's basically like a wide receiver that can block really good too.
What do you think he? Where do you think he? I also said ballin' just for what it's worth, Jordan, before because I don't think he can go down any farther.
I think he's a top 20 receiver for sure, with upside into that top 15.
Well, I mean okay. So top 20 means he's finishing under 20.
Yeah. He was 29 last year. He finished ahead of Devonta Smith.
So, I mean, I think he's going to for sure be a 10 in that top 20, 15 to 20 range.
Yeah. Seth, what are you thinking with Harrison?
I think it's Ball for sure. There's no way he finishes at 29. There's no way. I think what Jordan said is about right. Now, I don't think Kyler Murray's very good. And, they do have McBride, but also the part about the, Cardinals being good is they might have to throw the ball more than we think, and that'll work out.
So just, shooting from the cuff here, guys, who do you think had more fantasy points, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Xavier Worthy?
They had the same.
I think it's probably Marvin, just barely.
Yeah. Xavier Worthy was wide receiver 33. Marvin Harrison was wide receiver 29. And then DK Metcalf had one more fantasy point than Xavier Worthy, wide receiver 32.
I mean, Worthy didn't come on to those last 5-6 weeks of the year.
Yeah, and more of even just playoffs. I guess what week is this here? Week 16, he had a good game. So kind of started getting going at the end. So
also Trent. I mean, DK Metcalf is probably a good one that we should have done. I mean, obviously these are not sophomore guys, but I would say you would think that he's actually fallen, huh?
We're still waiting on the QB position there. I
gotta know.
Yeah,
but the QB position there looks pretty bleak, regardless of who it is. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, and you look at the whole QB, it's Aaron Rodgers, or what are they doing? Do they have any other options? Right, Mason Rudolph.
Draft.
Mason Rudolph's back, yeah. And who knows what happens. We'll do our first round mock, coming up. We are exactly 1 month away from the draft, just so you all know. So that is coming up. By the time you listen to this, it'll be less than a month away. So
there we go.
Fact right
all
there.
right, let's move on to the other one. I mean, you kind of brought him up already, but we can go kind of quick with this guy, Xavier Worthy, Trent.
Yeah, I think here's my concern with Xavier Worthy, Jordan. I think he trended in the right direction, looked really good, had the good Super Bowl TD catch. But if Rashee Rice plays, I think it hurts him, right? Don't you think that's the guy there? That's Patrick Mahomes' guy. He's the PPR guy.
Xavier maybe, but
Worthy's the field
stretcher. Who was out there in the Super Bowl? Rashee Rice or Xavier Worthy?
Well,
it's easy to say no, but it's easy to say he's Mahomes' guy. But you haven't seen it now with Worthy on the field plus Rice. So, you don't – it was Rice before early on. But then Rice got hurt. Worthy came right back into that Rashee Rice role those last 6 weeks of the year. And a lot of that was because they had DeAndre Hopkins on the outside to let Worthy play, that Rashee Rice role. And so we haven't seen – I mean, Worthy was really good, and he's probably more explosive than Rashee Rice. So – I don't know. It's easy to say that that's Mahomes' guy, but we haven't really seen them both. I don't think we'll know until we see them both in the field.
Okay. Yeah, I've always thought, how many games do we get with Rashee Rice till Patrick Mahomes slide tackled him or whatever it was? The friendly fire injury. That was he was playing pretty good.
It was 5 or 6 games, but Trent, you're talking about the first 5 or 6 games of Xavier Worthy's career. After how he ended that season, he's not just going to go away. Mahomes has to trust him just as much as anybody now after how he played in the Super Bowl and the playoffs.
Yeah. Seth, what are you thinking about Worthy here other than, I'm not going to, what are you thinking?
Well, Hopkins is gone, right?
Hopkins is gone.
Yeah, so it's Hollywood, Rice.
Yeah,
and,
so that'll be interesting, 3 players right there, which I feel like they're all pretty similar players. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, I don't think Hollywood's going to be, the number one there. It'll either be Rice or Worthy. I think I agree with Jordan here that Worthy, I think, is assumed that number 1 spot. I do think Mahomes is really good at spreading the ball out, so I could think this could be pretty watered though. So, if I think out of all, the consensus top 5 sophomores, I would be the most down on Worthy, but I do think he has a better season because I do think Mahomes this year might play better than he has in the last few years.
Yeah. Wide receiver 20 in best ball right now. Like, I feel like that's, two spots. Yeah, 2 spots behind Marvin Harrison. You could get them both on the. How do you like getting both of those guys on the same team, Jordan? If you had to reach on them on the early rounds at the turn, have those as your 2 and 3 or your 1 and 2, or do you not really like that?
Say it again. Sorry, I was reading an injury update on Rice.
If you had a best ball draft, you get Marvin Harrison Jr. at wide receiver 18. Then at the turn get Xavier Worthy. If you had like the first or second pick, you could reach on those guys there. Do you like that setup? Starting out with those 2 first round wide receivers from a year ago, coming into potentially really big sophomore plays.
I don't know.
It's risky.
I think you have to have one of their quarterbacks on a best ball team. Then you have to.
Yeah, and it's probably harder to get Mahomes on that.
No, I'd be curious to see where Mahomes goes.
Yeah,
he wasn't very good all last year. Yeah,
best ball wise, right now Mahomes is going as QB. What we got here? I'll pull it up right now. He is QB 6. And while we're talking about best ball, guys, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy, best place to play best ball. Get some March Madness plays in there as well. Enter promo code DUDES. They'll match you up to $1,000, guys. Again, head over to Underdog Fantasy. Promo code DUDES really helps us out. Also, go over to Sleeper, guys. Get your whole fantasy football league over there. Right now is the perfect time to tell your commissioner that this 4-letter fantasy football app we are using is not very good. Let's make the jump. Let's switch to Sleeper, where fantasy football is their number 1 priority, not like their 9th priority, whatever it is ESPN's really focusing on right now. It's probably, women's March Madness at the moment right now, because that's all they have at the moment, because, they don't have that deal. So head over to Sleeper, promo code DUDES100. It'll match up to $100, guys. Also get that fantasy football trophy. Head over to trophysmack.com/dudes. 15% off your whole entire order. Customize that first place trophy, last place trophy, participation ribbons. They have it all there. Also, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at West Valley Supply. Get all your irrigation needs. Ask for Aaron. He's also selling boats, RVs, trailers, and trucks. Guys, head over to West Valley Supply and have Aaron hook you up with sprinklers, trucks, boats, you name it. He's got it. All right.
One of the best salesmen in the Valley.
Aaron, yeah, I would give him that. Yeah, you can't take that away from him. Yeah, in the sprinkler game. Yeah, sprinkler
in the sprinkler game.
That is,
and he's not going to sell you something you don't need. He's going to sell you the right things.
Yes, and he's even given me a hat before, so that's nice as well. How many hats do you have, Phil?
That makes me absolutely sick.
All right, yeah, the shirts are really nice too that he's given me. Surprised he hasn't given you one either, Phil. But Phil, sophomore, standouts. I keep wanting to say sophomore slumps. I don't think that's the right thing to say.
Yeah, that's all right. Ricky Purcell.
I'm all in. I'm all in. I want Ricky. He got shot. He's coming back. I know Debo. I think the opportunity is really good. Getting drafted as wide receiver 41. I think it's a good spot if you don't have, 7 49er fans in your league, like a lot of my leagues. I think Ricky Purcell is a really good value, replacing Debo. Brandon Ayuk might be on the outs. Do we know that for sure? Are they kind of talking about that? Do we not know?
I don't know. I'm just waiting for one of you guys to say his name right. But
say it right, Jordan.
Ricky Pearsall.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's
just call him Ricky P. Phil.
Ricky P. I'm not seeing anything. Browns are trying to trade for 49ers Brandon Ayuk. I'm trying to look for some of the stuff here.
I think Ayuk's going to be there. I don't know if you can really trade him coming off the ACL. So I don't know.
And the big contract.
I agree though. I think his role should be good. He looked real good towards the ends of last year. So I like Pearsall. I think he's a ball for sure.
Yeah. Paying Purdy all that money.
What does Seth think? I want to know what Seth thinks about this guy. This guy fought off a gunshot wound and continue to play in the NFL that year. What do you think, Seth?
I think it's cool. I think he's going to be good. The Niners are going to be bad, but I think he's going to be good.
That's, we have Phil who couldn't finish a flag football game because he rolled his ankle, and Seth that can hardly type when he gets a hangnail. So I just hope that gives you guys a little bit of grit to get through the next thing you do. Whenever you face adversity, just think of Ricky P.
Is that something that happened to Seth? Be honest.
No, but would it surprise you?
Oh, okay. Mine is actually true. Mine actually happened. Like I twisted my ankle and crawled off the field.
I wasn't going to out.
I went out on my shield. No,
I think
not called going out on your shield.
Yeah, you should have been carried on your shield or a gurney.
I would never let people carry me off a football field. I'd rather crawl on my hands and knees.
You'd rather take an hour of their time while they watch you crawl like a.
Or you could just get up and walk off the field like a normal person.
Hey, Jordan, let me know the next time you've battled through an injury, okay?
All right.
Yeah, he once coached a basketball game with bad food poisoning from taco truck, which I don't think you could do, Phil.
Is that true, Jordan? Be honest. Tell us if that's true or not.
I mean, I've definitely coached many of basketball games with sick as a dog, so that's the truth. That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw some joke on X the other day just talking about injuries and just like how there's all these risk of injury in all these sports, and it was basically like a parody account talking about, and it wasn't me, about how I'm not going to let my kids play sports because I don't want them to get hurt. I'll just have them play fantasy sports. And the guy just totally ignored all the mental issues we have for this, just how one guy dropping a pass could ruin your whole entire day. And, the late nights of checking the waiver wire when you forget, or start-sits questions going back and forth in your head, or every time your phone vibrates during church, not knowing if it's an injury or a touchdown because you're trying to wait till after the sermon. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of stuff that, this guy just totally, left out. It's easier, I don't think easier would be the right thing. Phil, rolled ankle or, fantasy football stress the rest of your life. Don't answer that right now. Just think about it in the back of your mind.
No, I feel like that's a very good point. There's been times when Trent has gone into straight up hibernation over a bad fantasy football loss. You know what I'm saying? There's days where you may not respond to a group chat if you lose to the wrong person in your fantasy football league. Someone who you've been chirping the entire season. That happened to me. People were chirping me the entire season. Boy pulls out with the natty championship. That's all I'm saying. And I know, I've been there. Jordan, you know what's up.
Jordan's thinking this is a joke, but the guy literally fasts every Sunday during football season.
Oh, you're kidding.
From whenever, he doesn't eat while he watches football, Phil. He doesn't eat.
Are you talking about Jordan, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, the guy does not eat while he stays in his church.
I eat during the Sunday night games. I have dinner during the Sunday night games.
After the game's decided.
No, I don't. I eat during the game.
Seth, just describe what he looks like at these games. You've seen him.
If the team he bet on wins, he gets whipped cream. If the team he bet on doesn't win, he doesn't get any whipped cream.
I think that might be a little far, but I'm not going to say it's a lie. I don't know. I just picture Jordan pacing back and forth in his coaching polo, jeans, and flip flops, just walking back and forth, just as stressed as a jaybird watching these games. But
Jordan, don't take that from this guy. You've been with him at a game and just seen him on pins and needles over all the trash he talked before. Don't take it from Trent.
I haven't really seen Trent sweat out a game before, so I don't know.
You probably
he doesn't have enough invested.
I don't sweat.
It just means you don't. It just means you're not invested enough.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he's not invested. He's not committed to the craft, is what you're saying, huh?
Yeah. You should have seen me during the Maryland game on Sunday yesterday. I was sweating that game hard.
Was that men's volleyball or what was it? What?
Phil, stop.
Yeah, it's not March or anything. Yeah.
Phil, I cannot stand March Madness. It is. I am
such a take.
I will say, I was going to save this for the huddle, but Phil can't help himself. Jordan, the madness hasn't been there.
We can get to it later. Let's finish this segment.
Okay.
I mean, we're kind of done.
No, we have 5 left, Phil.
All right, Xavier Leggett. Xavier Legette.
I'm going fall because I like Jalen Coker, who Phil skipped on this list for whatever reason.
No, I was going to come back. Back to him. I just like bouncing around. I know where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm going to go fall too. He didn't impress me much last year, and with the quarterback situation, I don't know. Like I know Bryce Young was good, but like he seemed to like Coker more, and the Adam Thielen is somehow still hanging around. So yeah, I'm gonna go fall on.
Yeah, and Coker's just kind of like. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's kind of just like a target guy. Like he gets a lot of little catches and stuff like that. Maybe the offseason does Xavier Legette very good. Maybe it really helps him out. But I think Coker's the guy there, and they're probably going to draft someone else too. Maybe like Adam Thielen. At some point the wheels are going to fall off. And he can't play a whole season anyways. He still looks really good when he does play though. But I think the right matchup will be good.
Xavier Legette finished like wide receiver 61 last year. Like he's probably got to see a little bit of improvement, right? I'm not saying it's like he's balling, but he definitely got to see some improvement, right?
Yeah, I just think so. He was 61, and then Coker was 65. Is that right, Phil? Or are you just pulling numbers out of the air?
No, that's where he. Let's see. I want to see Jalen Coker. I actually didn't look him up. I didn't look at Jalen Coker. I was just looking at Xavier.
Sorry,
Legette.
I'm looking at wide receiver rankings. Not so. Legette,
Yeah, he was 83. Coker 83.
Coker didn't play as much, right? Legette was there the whole entire year. Coker kind of came on towards the end of that season. So
probably like
I don't know.
His first game played really was game 5. Just to your point, Jordan.
Yeah, but I mean, like he played.
Legette missed 2 games,
targets,
Jordan.
5, 7, I'll be honest. I don't really like either of them, Trent, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I'm optimistically high on Bryce Young, and I know I disliked him more than anyone, like in the whole draft process. But I like his coach, and I thought he finished the season really well last year. So he
did, but
yeah,
I just don't really like either of them.
And I like the division. I always get into, potential, bad teams in that NFC South. But, okay, Phil, what else we got on here on these?
If you have a coach that's even had a sniff of Sean McVay's coaching tree, Trent is in absolute love with those guys, Jordan. Like, he has doubled down on Bryce Young like 14 or 15 times because he loves his coach. How much does he love a good quarterback coach, Jordan? He will go on and on about a good quarterback coach over the quarterback at times for like an entire season.
Okay.
I think he's going to turn it around. Quarterback coaching is it's like, dude, hey, we're week 8 and he's still, like QB 19. I don't think we're going to finish top 10 here, brother. But I'll let you defend yourself a little bit there, Trent.
I will defend myself here because who are the quarterbacks I've said that I like their coach. Okay. It's been the same coach every time. It's been Canales because he had Geno Smith, then he had Baker Mayfield, and now he has Bryce Young. Those are the 3 guys. I've had a different one like every year that I've turned around on. You act like I just, lick my finger and put it up in the wind and decide a new coach to choose every single week. And that's simply not the case, Phil.
All right, brother. All right, let's go to Keon Coleman.
Let me ask a third opinion. Seth, is that true?
I'm going to stay out of this one.
Oh yeah, well, devil.
It's just you get so high. You get so high on coaches. Sometimes it's like, hey man, they're not the guys. I mean, yes, I know coaches make a lot of the decisions on what's going to happen on the on Sunday mornings and evenings. But Jordan, come on, get my back here. The guys all coaching trees over actual athletes. Can you agree there?
Before you say this, Jordan,
coaching matters.
Before you say this, Jordan, the guy thinks that the Raiders, because they have Pete Carroll, that they're basically the Legion of Boom. So let's just, let's not talk about, everything. Yeah.
All right. I'll just say that coaching matters. So.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago, feels like it's a new era in Las Vegas. They got Pete Carroll. This is something totally different than what the Raiders have done. It's like, no, it's actually kind of what the Raiders have always done. So just to remind you.
Can we finish this? Let's get back on track here.
I just remember when McCarthy went to the Cowboys. He's like, well, he took Aaron Rodgers to a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers, and I was just like, dude, come on. All right,
not exactly how that was worded, but if you want to just
Keon Coleman.
I want Keon
Jordan,
Coleman
what do
to
you
be
think
good
about
so bad.
I'm gonna go fall.
Seth,
okay.
But I don't feel great about that either.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like right where he's going, he's probably right, but maybe fall. If I had to go, we have to go one way here, I'll go fall.
I'm going to give him a full offseason with the returning MVP of the NFL, Josh Allen. And I'm just going to say he, puts a chip on his shoulder after Xavier Worthy lit them up in that playoff game, bounces back. The guy could be, marketing gold with, all kinds of advertisements. He's hilarious. He's funny. I want Keon Coleman to be good. For that reason, I'm going to go with balling. I think he has the potential to finish top 25 wide receivers, going at wide receiver 56 right
There's
now.
No way, Trent. There's no
top 25?
There's no way.
They bringing Amari Cooper back?
Well, they signed Josh Palmer, so they have at least three options there.
But Josh Palmer's always favorite. Josh Palmer. Like Shakir, I'll give you Shakir.
Keon Coleman, what has Keon Coleman done to the guy just did cardio most of the season last year.
I know, but let's look, like I said, he has a higher PFF rating than what Jackson Smith-Njigba did his rookie year. So
But they're two different types of receivers.
It's true, but let's
Coleman
not write a guy off after his rookie year. He's a first
jump
rounder.
Balls. But JSN was a complete wide receiver in college. Keon Coleman did the same thing in college they did last year. He caught jump balls.
Yeah.
He uses athleticism to make plays. You're talking about two different types of receivers.
That's fair, but you don't think Josh Allen can start getting him more jump balls and they can get into a better rhythm? Josh Allen, I feel like if you're a jump ball guy, is the right guy.
But that's not how the Bills run their offense, Trent. They didn't throw many of those last year. Keon Coleman was getting one target, 2 targets a game. The way the Bills run their offense is they run, and they throw short passes. That's how the Bills played football last year. You think that's going to change? Josh Allen had the best season of his life last year doing that.
I think that he could start throwing to a guy with the full off-season training, stuff like that. I think he could get better at that, targeting Keon
What do you
more.
mean a full? So what's the difference between the full? He had a full offseason last year too.
No.
He got drafted.
That's not a full off-season. The off-season's been going since January for these guys. They've been working out, stuff like that, putting in time. You don't think so?
You don't think he was not working?
I think he was, but I think it's different. You get that more time. So 6 months isn't a big deal. I could show you a 6-month-old kid and a 1-year-old kid. It's a huge deal.
Okay, that's a horrible analogy. Okay,
6 months makes a big difference being in the league. I think you give him more time. I'm saying wide receiver 25. I didn't say top 10, guys.
I don't know. 25.
Wide receiver 25 is high, Trent. That's really high.
So you don't think he can finish
it? Probably.
So let me go to the top 25. You don't think he can finish over? Let me just go to the first page here. You don't think he can finish over Juwan Jennings?
I mean, Juwan Jennings was pretty good last year, but it's not about the
So compared to Jaden Reed was wide receiver 26. Calvin Ridley 27.
Those guys are number one wide receivers on their team.
I think he could be the number one there. They drafted him to be the number one. He will get every opportunity to be the number one.
They just paid Josh Palmer though, and they paid Khalil Shakir. They just paid both those guys.
But when you draft a guy in the first round like this, / second round like that, you want to give them their time and let them. It's like you said when they pay people, they use them. Like they aren't ready to abandon ship and go down. I think they're going to keep giving the opportunity.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. I understand. I'm not saying that that they're not going to use Keon Coleman. But Keon Coleman, this is what they signed Shakir to. A $60 million, $32 million guaranteed for a 5th-round pick.
Do you know what Khalil Shakir finished as last year in fantasy?
What did he finish?
Wide receiver 38. You don't think he can surpass Khalil Shakir? I think absolutely he couldn't get to the top 25. That's not that much. They have the MVP start throwing the ball around like if they have to.
They paid Josh Palmer 3 years, $36 million. Okay?
Do you think Josh Palmer can get better or you think he's peaked? I think Josh Palmer is absolutely peaked. I don't think he's, we've been waiting for Josh Palmer to be good forever.
Yeah, but Trent, you're not like, this is what Keon Coleman did. I'm going to be honest, this is what he did. Week 9, 2 targets. Week 10, 2 targets. Week 11, 2 targets. He had 7 and 10 and 12
Did he
and 13.
have like a broken wrist or something?
Catches. Okay, so week 1, 5 targets. 2 and 3, 1 target. The guy had more than 5 catches one time. Or no, he had 5 catches one time. The rest of the year, he had less than 5 catches.
So you think he's done?
Because
he's not ever going to be good.
No, Trent, that's not what I'm saying. But the Bills don't throw the deep ball. That's not what they do. That's not what they did last year. And they were really, really good. You're saying Josh Allen, best season of his life, MVP. That's not how he won the MVP, was by throwing deep balls.
Yeah. So
all of a sudden now you're saying that they're going to change their offense to throw deep balls when they spent $90 million combined on possession receivers.
Jordan. So week 9, Keon Coleman hurt his wrist, okay?
What does that have to do with anything I'm saying, though?
When you're a wide receiver and you have a bad wrist, you can't catch. You ever watch Finding Nemo? He can't do stuff the other fish do because his other fin's smaller than the other one.
What does Keon Coleman having a broken wrist have to do with how the Buffalo Bills scheme their
race like Phyllis?
How do you throw a guy jump balls when he has a broken wrist or a hurt wrist?
They didn't throw jump balls. That's not how they were successful last year. And they paid possession receivers $90 million this offseason.
Let's just cancel everything Xavier Worthy did after week 15 and just say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just say that, because they didn't use him those first few weeks.
Although,
do you understand what I'm saying, though? The guy got hurt at the end of the year. To say that he bounces back being a first-round draft pick is not – was he first or second?
Second-round draft pick.
Yeah, first round. They traded back for him. Yeah, they traded back. They could have got Worthy. I don't think it's that crazy to think that Xavier Worthy with Josh Allen can get there. I don't know.
Coleman. Sorry. I get what you're saying.
No, but you're still not listening to what I'm saying, but okay.
No, I am listening to what you're saying. The guy hurt his wrist week 9. That makes a difference.
But what does a broken wrist have to do with the way they scheme their offense, Trent?
Hold on.
If a guy has a hurt hand, they're not going to put him in the playbook to have a majority of the passes thrown to him.
Okay, so he has the Mac Hollins role. What's the difference there? He's Mac Hollins then.
The fact that you think that you can catch just as good with one hand as you can with two is besides me.
That's not what I'm saying. No. The fact that you don't understand that football is a scheme-based offensively, and if you throw the deep ball, then you can't catch a deep ball if that's not part of their offense. So we'll have the Mac Hollins role. Great. Is that what you want at Keon Coleman, the Mac Hollins role?
If a guy...
That's what he'll have.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain that. Like, if you put a cast on your hand, you can't catch as good.
And I don't know how to explain to you that like, not every offense just throws deep balls. And Josh Allen wasn't good at that last year. What he was good at was...
Maybe because his deep ball guy had a hurt hand.
He threw the deep ball to Matt Collins. Matt Collins was his deep ball guy last year.
Yes. And is Matt Collins still there?
No.
Is Josh Palmer a deep ball guy?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Is Khalil Shakir deep ball guy? Who's the deep ball guy there, guys? Does he have 2 healthy wrists now?
Right. So you're saying that Keon Coleman in the Matt Collins role is a top 25 wide receiver?
No, I think that him spending a whole offseason could be a top 25 wide receiver. You're the guy that always talks about draft capital, paying guys. They're going to give Keon Coleman every opportunity.
I'm talking about paying guys. Josh Palmer and Khalil Shakir are making more money than Keon Coleman.
Yeah, but there's the draft capital. There's the draft capital that they have.
Well, okay, but the money matters more than the draft capital.
If they want to just say, "Hey, we screwed up on this pick, let's send the ship down. Let's go down with the ship." Okay, maybe that's what they want to do.
So then, why do you like Jalen Coker over Xavier Leggett? There's way more draft capital invested in Xavier Leggett.
Because I think Bryce Young played very well at the end of the year, and he used Jalen Coker. Bryce Young's still a different player coming into his own.
Well, I don't understand the difference there, though. What's the difference?
Here, let's go break your wrist and see how good you shoot a basketball. Then tell me the difference.
You keep going back to the wrist. The wrist
Phil,
has nothing to do with
does that
this.
make sense that you wouldn't scheme a receiver that has a hurt wrist? Scheme him as your go-to.
He got 10 targets and 8 targets the last 2 weeks and didn't catch footballs.
What week did he get hurt?
30 yards. But you just said he had plenty of targets in those 2 weeks.
Week 9, he battled injury.
That plays the Trent, though, Jordan, saying he can't catch some of those passes because he has a hurt wrist.
I think if you know that a guy has a hurt wrist, it's like, hey, let's not scheme around him.
Hey, here's what I'm saying, Jordan. I don't think – so he had 4 touchdowns and played 13 games, okay? He also had almost 500 yards. To break the top 25, he would only need to increase his yardage by a couple more 100 yards and then maybe catch another touchdown or 2. I think that he doesn't regress. I think he can see improvements, and I think he easily can fall in the top 25, depending on what this year looks like. Maybe I'd feel better saying about the top 30. If you look at his stats, they're not terrible, and he was out compared to these other receivers at least 4 games.
Okay,
so
Trent,
take a look at
his... I'll take Jalen McMillan over Keon Coleman.
Oh, I would do that too.
So Jalen McMillan's a top 25 receiver too?
I think Jalen McMillan could be a top 25 wide receiver. You don't think he can?
I don't think you're in your brain computing how many wide receivers there are in the NFL that are good, Trent.
What do you think Jalen McMillan finishes? A terrible
top
bucket?
40, top 35?
Terrible. So you think
with
that
Chris Godwin and Mike Evans? I don't
there's a lot of mouths to feed there. And a good running
you're just
back.
Throwing out numbers and there's good wide receivers in the NFL. So you're taking Jordan Addison. You're taking Keon Coleman over Jordan Addison.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, Jordan Addison's barely a top 25 receiver probably next year.
Are you taking Jordan Addison over Xavier Worthy?
No, but I'm taking Xavier Worthy over Keon Coleman.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't You're saying top 25 receiver, and I think you're just throwing that out pretty lightly.
I have not done rankings. I will say that, but for what Phil said, what's he need? Another 200 yards and 2 TDs? No, if he doubles his TDs, that's 8. Is that totally unbelievable that Keon Coleman has 8 TDs?
Yeah, if he got
I would be shocked if he had 8 touchdowns.
How many games did he miss, Phil? 4?
Yeah, and he had 4 touchdowns. So he scored in 30% of his games, and then he also would need a couple, maybe let's call it another 300 to 400 yards with some additional TDs, and he wouldn't be that far off the top 25, Jordan.
Yeah, but 300 yards, adding 300 yards and 4 TDs
that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff to add.
It's 4 more games needed, and 4 more good games.
Yeah, no, I listen, I'm just saying it's probably not as far outside of the
on a
realm
team
of
that wants
possibility.
to run the ball. On a team that wants to run the football.
Yeah, with James Cook. I just don't think I think they're going to they'll open it up more this year.
Yeah,
I think the Bills are going to do the same year last year.
Yeah.
Hey, are we doing I think
heaven forbid anyone have a hot take on this pod.
A dollar bet. I say we do it more than a dollar bet because this is getting real saucy here.
I'll do as much as Trent wants.
Yeah, I'll do a dollar bet top 25, Jordan. I'll put it there. I have it right there.
Okay, put your money where your mouth is and up the stakes a little bit.
That's fine. Someone go back and read last year's.
All right, are you guys gonna bet $5 and maybe a friendly hug?
I'll bet 20. I'll bet $100 if Trent wants.
I'm going to keep the dollar bets until Phil bets over $1.
Why are you throwing me into this? I just had your back on the argument. You backstabber. You know what, Jordan? You're right. Trent, you don't know what you're talking about.
I have it updated right there. All right, Phil, what do we have next?
I didn't think that was too far out of the realm of possibility that he could end up there. Truthfully, even though Trent decided to turn his back on me like the snake that he is. Yeah. All right.
I've seen what you can do with one wrist, Phil, and it's amazing, but you're pretty tough.
You know what? I'm going to take that as a compliment. Okay, Roma Dunze. Seth, I know you're a huge Caleb Williams fan. Roma Dunze.
Top 25.
Falling or balling?
I'm going to go balling here. I think there's just room for improvement. I think Caleb Williams gets better. I think this Bears offense gets better with Ben Johnson at the helm. So I think it's just I think all signs point up. So I think you have to go balling here. It's just better what he did last year. I don't really know the potential yet. I really want to for sure on it, but I think it's balling better than he did last year.
Just because of Ben Johnson is why I think.
Well, I think Caleb Williams gets better too.
Yeah. I already went off on how much I like the Bears' offensive pass catchers last week, so I don't think I need to do it again or say it
and
again.
Quarterback coaches.
Offensive coordinator.
Jordan, you have anything to say about Odunze?
Jordan loves Ben Johnson more than me.
He's fine. I think he's fine. I don't know. I really liked him coming out of college, but there's a lot of guys there, and I don't know. I got to see more of Caleb Williams.
Okay.
All right. I hear you.
Right.
All right. So should we break this into the huddle, or what are we doing here?
Let's go in the huddle here. Got QB Netflix. I think the QB Netflix documentary, like, it's good. I know you guys all watch it. I think with Jameis Winston being in New York, I think you got to throw him in there, Phil. Like, I think that needs to be something that should be done. I know we are just like, I'm the absolute, Jameis Winston, tire pumper here. So I'll just leave it there. Then I was just talking about some rule changes that got brought up that we can go over. The big one, Lions proposed postseason format to allow wild card teams be seated higher than division champions. I don't think I like that one. What do you guys think on that? I think division champions, just me being old school, I like them holding, getting the, the home field. I think that should mean something.
I kind of like it. No, so the Lions argument would be like, we had a better record, we won more meaningful games. They're in a weaker division, we should have a higher seed. That's basically what they're saying. So I can see that. I actually don't mind it. I mean, I think if you're in the wild card, and you played tougher games, you won more games. I don't see any problem with that.
Seth, what are you thinking? That beast quake doesn't happen, Phil, without that.
True.
Yeah, I think winning your division means something, but it's also something to be said, when a team, is barely above 500 and they win their division because it's terrible and they're ranked higher than, probably the best team in football. So I think it's fine. I'm not opposed to it, but honestly, it won't really make me mad if it passed or not. So
Jordan, I don't think it's going to pass.
Win your division or stop. Like, if you don't want to be there, win your division. I don't know what to tell you.
The other one that I do like that the Lions proposed, though, is rule change to remove automatic first downs for defensive holding and illegal contact penalties. I am all for that. Give them the yards. If it's a first down, it's a first down. If a defensive lineman hits the center in the face on 3rd and 25, I don't think it should be an automatic first down because I don't think that impacted the play that much. Holding on a wide receiver, I could see maybe how that impacts it.
Holding has to be an automatic first down because otherwise they're just going to hold every single time. Like, if on a 3rd and 20, they're just going to hold. Like, because there's no downside to it. Like you have to the illegal but illegal contact. I don't think that's what they're talking about. They're not talking about hands of the face, Trent, are they?
Yeah,
talking about illegal contact with like receivers and pass catchers.
Yeah, is it illegal hands of the face and automatic first down though as well?
No, it is.
Yeah, but that wasn't part of what they were proposing.
That's the one
personal foul though, and so it has to be an automatic first down.
That one always drives. Yeah, because I guess if you really hate a guy and it's 3rd and 30. You can just tee off on his, Adam's apple.
Well, and also helmets are going to start getting ripped off left and right, and
the only other thing too that I will say that the quarterback, oftentimes on those deep third and whatever, is the quarterback scrambling, and then the defensive tackle or defensive end tackles the quarterback, and then it's an automatic first down because of the way that they landed. You know what I'm saying? I would be fine taking away those, give them the 15, and if they got it, great. If not, no first down.
It's a weird. The quarterback one is weird.
It has to be first downs though, for holding and legal contact, like because otherwise you're just gonna get receivers just gonna get mugged.
Yeah,
like if
that might make the NFL more
for legal contact, like receivers would be on the ground, like because why not? Like,
5-yard penalty.
It's 3rd and 20. Yeah, I'll go 3rd and 15 again.
We'll tackle both wide receivers.
That might make the NFL a little bit more entertaining.
Yeah, might lead to more. Yeah. So
it might make the NFL a little bit more entertaining, but I know Trent and Jordan both love flag football, so maybe that's the direction they're wanting to hear. I think I'm all for that. Bring back some more reckless rules.
Yeah. Phil, anything else here in the huddle you want to break down, Phil, since you watch,
Does it have to be football related?
No, the huddle is where you can be yourself, Phil. So just tell me what you want to talk about. I'm giving you a small platform.
You don't want me to be myself, though. That's the problem. The Office came out 20 years ago. That's just a great show. Jordan claims he hasn't seen it. That makes me sick. Huge part of our culture. I think he would love it if he actually got into it.
Gave it a chance.
I've watched it before. I've watched an episode or two. It's just not
you can't watch the Notebook multiple times and never turn on an episode of The Office, Jordo.
I have watched an episode of The Office before. It's just I don't like cheesy comedy. I don't know. Straight comedy is not my thing.
It's more.
I think you probably need to get to season 2. You need to get to season 2, Jordan, and then you'll just be like, okay, this is actually. But do you like Parks and Rec or any of those?
No, he's never watched it. I'm sure.
I've never watched Parks and Rec.
Straight comedy is just not my thing.
You're more of a drama guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Seth, you watched The Office, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm cultured.
Cultured, yeah. And then Trent, I know you have. We quote that all the time.
Yeah. And then, Phil, was there anything else you wanted to just bring up here? You can just air, all the issues you're having.
No, we're going to be talking about them on our
your
mount.
Carpet tunnel locking up. Wait, are you doing your finger exercises?
I'm doing my finger exercises. I've been doing my
He just admitted he has carpet tunnel right there. I just want to let everyone know.
No, I'm
doing it for the pod. He kind of did.
What is the thing that both you and I have because we're not athletes anymore and have gained too much weight? What is the thing that we have on
plantar
our
fasciitis? But it has. I think my cane shoes have cured that for me. Knocking on wood. But
okay. You wear those? Do you wear those to work?
No, but when I go on walks and when I went to Disneyland, I wore them, and my feet have never felt better.
Okay. I see my plantar fasciitis is acting up a little bit. That's less than ideal. And I will say, I totally get it. These athletes being sidelined over plantar, it's a nightmare.
When's it hurt the most? Getting out of bed?
I am brought to tears at the end of the day, actually, really. I'm brought to tears when I put a ball underneath the arch of my foot and roll it out. Have you done that before?
Yeah, not to the point of tears, but I've played a couple of slow pitch softball games in there. Seth was there, and it's like if you sit down, it's over. You can't once you stop moving, you have to walk 20 steps before you can do anything. And it's a 20 hobbled steps. It's you might as well have crutches.
It's never been that bad for me, but I'm also not a sissy. So I work through it. Absolutely.
You just said you cry.
You were so dramatic. I can barely walk 20 steps before it gets in.
Seth, do you remember when I had that?
No, he probably remembers it. That doesn't change the fact that you're dramatic for not being able to walk.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah, it looked pretty painful, man. I was glad I didn't have it.
Walking on my toes.
Yeah, he was using the bat as a cane.
That might have happened one or two times. It was slow pitch softball, and I actually was begging, hey, no, I want to play catcher. Don't put me anywhere else.
Did you get a runner? Please tell me you didn't get a runner.
Yes, I got a runner. I was let me play catcher. And if I can have the 5-gallon bucket back here,
run to first.
Yeah. Oh no, I had a couple guys get really mad at me because it was I basically I'm not fast to begin with, but I definitely was not hustling. It was you could tell I was not trying. Even it was just
when you get thrown out from left field,
I felt like a cow to the slaughter. It was it was like that. I never got thrown out from the outfield, the first base, but it was painful.
Trent, if you're under the age of 30 and have to have a runner, that is a sad excuse of a life.
Hey, I never cried though, like you do every night before you go to bed. So that's a whole nother story. If you want to talk about that,
True.
So
hey, there's nothing wrong with
actual grit.
What, Seth?
What?
Trent has actual grit, Phil.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. I'm in the silence of my own home, just working out this
Phil, I went to a slow pitch softball game with plantar fasciitis. You missed a podcast because you rolled your ankle. We are not the same.
Okay, I want to be clear. My ankle was on the verge of breaking. I'm sure there's ligaments that are still undone. I was running 2 weeks later without a cane. You took 20 steps in.
Hey, here's my phone right here. Call someone who cares.
I will never. You and I are not the same. I'll never cane myself to first base with a baseball bat. That makes me sick.
Cane yourself. Anyways, let's get into this Mount Rushmore. Phil sent something over the weekend about how good this meal was. How good this meal was. All of a sudden, the guy's acting cultured like he watches golf. Like, not true at all. He saw what they had at, what is this, the Masters opening ceremony?
Yeah, Masters Club dinner.
Yeah. He said, Jordan, this is a Mount Rushmore meal I would have on my deathbed. All of these things are better than anything, that he's like, everything on here you would absolutely put on your Mount Rushmore. I want Phil to read this meal. I want him to read this meal, then we will do our Mount Rushmores since he already picked his Mount Rushmore.
Here's what I said. I said that this is that's fine. Here's what I said. This is a absolute one of the last meals on earth type of meals put together. And then Trent focused in on one specific item that he just could not get over. He should have caned himself over that little spot there because truthfully,
let me borrow your cane, buddy.
This menu lineup is absolutely fantastic. So Scotty Shefty, that I'm going to keep calling, I'm just going to keep calling him Shefty now because Jordan hates it absolutely so much, he put this together. So Scotty Scheffler put this together. It's in honor of him. He got to choose the Master Club dinner. I believe it's because he won it last year. So here's what it goes. For appetizers, cheeseburger sliders. Okay. Sounds delicious. I'm sure it's probably on Hawaiian rolls or maybe some homemade brioche rolls. The second appetizer, firecracker shrimp with sweet Thai chili sauce and sriracha mayo. Sound good so far? Does everyone here think it's good? Any issues with any of those things thus far?
Yeah. So these are both on your last meals before you die.
These are on. No, it's not. It's not a single meal, Trent. That's what I don't think you understand. I don't know if you understand how a multiple course meal works.
I've been to medieval times. I know how course meals work, pal.
All right. Papa Chef's meatballs. All right. That sounds pretty good. Texas style chili. I don't know if you know Trent. He went to UT. I know you hate University of Texas football, but University of Texas at Austin. He played their golf. Texas style chili. That sounds pretty good. Cheddar cheese, jalapenos, corn chips. Sounds like basically a Frito boat. Sounds delicious. Then here's where it really gets good. Main course, wood-fired cowboy ribeye or
get on YouTube right now. Phil's actually drooling while he's reading this. It's pretty impressive. Give us a 7 like while you're
Jordan, I feel like you would like this. It comes alongside with family-style macaroni and cheese, jalapeno cream corn, soy glazed Brussels sprouts, chipotle lime roasted sweet potatoes. And then for dessert, I would say that they're missing mashed potatoes there. I would go mashed potatoes over sweet potatoes. I don't know about you guys. Or maybe like a twice baked potato. That would put it over the edge.
No, you can't change it because you already said this was the best.
So then for dessert, warm chocolate chip skillet cookie with vanilla bean ice cream. If it's Haagen-Dazs vanilla bean ice cream, I'm 100% in. You don't like that, Seth? Do you not like Pizookies?
Dude, come on.
You don't like it?
No, there's way better vanilla ice creams than Haagen-Dazs. Come on.
Okay, you sleep on it. See, here's the thing. I was once a young man, and there was an older guy at our church who was discipling me. And he's like, I was like, what kind? I just asked him randomly. I'm like, hey, what kind of ice cream do you like? And he's like, oh, Haagen-Dazs ice cream is great. And I was like, pfft. I basically did the exact same thing as you did. And then I enjoyed a whole pint all by myself, and I repented of my sin. I dare you to go to Save Mart right after this podcast and have a pint of vanilla bean ice cream, and I promise you will be a changed man.
Yeah, he'll probably have Plantar by 3 a.m. too.
Seth, I'm not.
And by the time the third rooster crows, you'll say you never did it.
By the rooster crows, I'll have gout in both my feet.
Yeah.
Well, you have it already in both your ears. All right, let's just move on. Is that a good meal or what?
Yeah,
it's a good
meal. Jordan, you're 48 hours into a March Madness. You're parched. You're starving. You haven't touched a bite of food. a spot of food has not hit your lips.
Yeah,
you're not enjoying that.
Eating that meal. Everyone's eating the meal, and it's probably
yes,
a good meal. Like,
thank you.
No one is denying that. So like, I don't like no one's denying that it's a good meal.
That lineup is fantastic. Like, no one's
denying that.
Yeah,
I'm probably not eating the chili for what it's worth. Like gonna skip the chili.
Yeah. Phil, let's do this, partner. Go over to Schefter's and have chili. See if you get invited back to the next dinner. It's not happening. So like the fact that you're like
first off.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Yeah, it's a good meal. It's not like you. Yeah, it's not a top 5 meal.
Okay, fine. Let's hear yours. I want to hear you. You have to do the exact same thing. You need to give me 2 appetizers. You need to give me 2 appetizers, a first course, and a main course along with your dessert. That is what we're doing. It may not be a Mount Rushmore. 2 apps. Okay. 2 appetizers. A first course, which is just kind of like it's the first course, Trent, comes before the second course. It's a smaller meal.
Thank you for clarifying.
And then a larger second course followed by a dessert.
Okay. All right. So apps I have down. I might need to think a little bit more on the other one. I was kind of thinking of doing this layout a little bit different. Apps, I'm going to go with mozzarella sticks and Red Robin steak fries. I think those are really good. And then first course,
people are disagreeing with you. That is
honey mustard.
Give it a little
gobs
bit
of honey mustard from Red Robin. Okay,
no ketchup.
I'll have ketchup too, but I'm saving that. Then I'm gonna go with a.
Hold on, just reiterate. What did you get? You did steak fries and mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, I think that's solid.
All right.
You just like you, Phil. You're not going to walk by that and say, "I don't want that." You'll be like, "Oh no, I actually do like that." I think you could also throw Red Lobster biscuits in there as well if there's room. And then I'm just going to go off of like restaurant stuff because I think that's easier. I think it relates to everyone.
Hey, you didn't have to tell us that because you just literally did the exact same thing with all your appetizers. But go ahead, let's hear it.
And then steak, I'm going to go with a. New York steak. I think New York steak, maybe with a side salad. I think that's
what's your first. That's your first course.
Yeah, I'll do that. I guess you gotta do I'll do a salad as the first course. I'll do salad
what
there.
Kind of salad?
I'm gonna go with a Caesar salad. Avocados on that. No, I gotta think of the course. I gotta think of the course thing here better. I have like my main thing. I look at courses and appetizers almost as like the same thing here, Phil. I need to pull up what you had here. I'm trying not to pull up my phone.
So you got apps. Yours is this is horrible. Your meal is awful.
Yeah.
Oh, so you like meatball ravioli bites better?
No, but like you just said Caesar salad. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you'd rather me do Texas style chili? You eat Texas style chili, you're probably not eating anything else. You're probably going to end up in the bathroom.
I'm saying. You can just be. It can be better than both of them. Like
Yeah. Do
better.
This
is the last meal you're ever eating, Trent.
Yeah, and you chose Caesar salad.
Phil kind of changed it to something else to just go against his dinner.
He said the last meal you ever eat.
Okay, well, one of you guys. I was going to throw steak and lobster.
Okay, here we go.
I was throwing steak and lobster as main course. First course, I'm still debating.
Okay, Jordan, go ahead.
Marie Callender's.
Spicy tuna roll. I'm getting a spicy tuna roll as one appetizer.
That's not a bad
appetizer, one. Samosas. I don't know if you guys have had samosas. We're going around the world here with the culture. So like
do tell.
Samosas. Third one. I think those are good. I only need 2 appetizers.
Oh no, I'm not a samosa guy.
First course, we are getting tacos from Taco Truck. We're getting carnitas tacos,
that's solid.
Sword tacos,
quesadillas.
The main entree. I'm not a quesadilla guy as much. Main entree, my mom's spaghetti. My mom's spaghetti is I've always said that'd be my last meal. My mom's spaghetti. And then we will go with for the dessert, we'll go with some really good homemade apple pie with some vanilla ice cream on top.
And no whipped cream.
Yeah, no whipped cream.
Okay. Hey, Jordan, that I honestly, compared to whatever Trent was describing in his like La La Land, like he's basically put on meta glasses and walked through.
It helps when I look at the menu and not just think about stuff like that too, I will say.
Jordan, yours was clutch. I'm going to give Trent a little bit more time because I think he's got a little bit more gas in the tank. Seth, what are you doing? If you say Kit Kat bars as your dessert, I'm going to kick you off this podcast. Go ahead.
I'm going backwards here. I'm going to start with dessert. I'm going to go with a nice Oreo ice cream. Okay, like cookies and cream, Oreo ice cream. Okay, that's the best. And then I'm debating between
just
a couple
ice cream?
different
just
cuts
an
of
Oreo
steak.
ice cream.
Yeah, with like Oreo chunks in it, And then
it's kind of boring.
Or you could do like a milkshake with that, but whatever. I like it plain. And then different cuts of steak. I'll probably lean New York. I think that's one of the one I usually eat, like a nice 16-ounce New York, maybe even bigger. I could eat 2. And then
any sides with that?
Man.
You're forgetting sides.
Well,
I need to hear some sides.
I'm going back to my first course here. Okay, so I'm going back to my first course. I want to get like some Wagyu sliders. That's good right there.
Okay.
Guys probably never
on like
had
a
Wagyu.
little toasted bun. And then I'm going to go for my sides. I'm going to do some garlic fries. And I think I'm going to do some bacon Brussels sprouts.
Okay. Bacon wrap dates would have been a good one there, Seth. Just by the way, bacon wrap dates would have been very tasty.
I'm the biggest fan of dates.
Okay, that's a bummer.
What's
Jordan, do you like bacon wrap dates?
I like bacon wrap dates, but not. Again, I don't think I'd put it on my last deal.
Seth, what was your appetizer?
Oh, I did the Brussels sprouts and the fries.
Okay.
All right. I think I got a little bit of redemption here. For apps, I got a seafood platter.
Cheesecake Factory's garlic fries.
Yeah. Butter poached lobster tail, crab legs, calamari. Don't think you can go wrong with that. Then I got mac and cheese and then Red Robin fries. I'm going to throw them in there again. Those steak fries. Phil acts like he doesn't like those. I've seen Phil put down 3 baskets before his burger got there one time.
It's true. Right. It's true.
And then first course, still kind of struggling on the first course thing. But I'm going to go with first course because I don't know what the first course, if we should go like light or heavy. I'm going to go with fried chicken for the first course, okay? Good fried chicken, incredibly hard to beat, okay, guys?
Little honey, little hot sauce?
Honey, maybe not hot sauce. I like to get my honey and my butter, mix it together. You get the best of both worlds right there, kind of like Hannah Montana. Then I'm going to go with a nice burger, throw bacon on there, tomatoes, lettuce. Dessert, I'm going to go with I would say like a cobbler with ice cream. I don't know if most people like that. So I'm going to go with a lava cake and vanilla ice cream there. You get a little bit of the, gooey, chocolate mess along with the vanilla. I think it's a pretty good combo right there. But I think the seafood platter and Red Robin fries are hard to beat. And I think fried chicken, who doesn't like fried chicken?
That's
you
true.
Don't like fried chicken,
wow,
Jordan?
You're kidding me.
No.
Wow. Well, thank you for being honest. I appreciate that.
That
Phil,
is Jordan, that is a disappointing life.
I've never liked fried chicken. Like it's just too greasy and it's just I'm not a fan.
Oh man, sheesh.
Trying not to judge.
Probably like dino chicken.
Yeah. He likes the dino chicken. Is that what you said, Seth?
He probably likes the dino chicken.
I don't.
He probably doesn't know what that
means.
is. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. No, I'm not sure.
Dino chicken, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dino chicken nuggets? I'm pretty sure that's what Seth's saying.
Yeah.
Like the little kid ones?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I've ever had those. Ever.
They're pretty good.
What?
I'll say they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Throw those puppies in an air fryer. Whew.
So, all right. Well, I think.
Listen. I think the one that I listed off was probably the best. I will say that
You copied it.
Yeah.
Trent
The
got
fact that
2
you
at
came
bat.
up with that on your own, Phil, I'm pretty happy with you. That was your best Mount Rushmore you did, and you made it yourself.
I will say I'm good at identifying good things, and I think I identified a great thing. You had mozzarella sticks as your appetizer. I don't care if you copied anyone or not.
You're not going to eat those if you see them. Don't tell me you walk by mozzarella sticks and don't eat them, Phil, because I know that's a lie.
Here's the thing. It's not like what would I eat or not eat. It's is this the best last meal on earth? And that is
you had chili on yours. Everyone on here except you said they wouldn't even eat that.
No, chili's good. I think you guys are giving it a bad rap. That's the thing. Chili is a good first course. What if I would have said chicken tortilla soup in place of it? Would you have a problem with it?
I like chicken tortilla soup. It's a little lighter. But
Dude,
neither of those things should be on your last meal, though.
I agree.
I don't know. I really like chicken tortilla soup. Yeah. Yeah. Same here, Seth. I love a good chicken tortilla. All right. Well, this kind of died. I thought this was a great idea. I think I was disappointed. Like Trent, you and I have dined at multiple places together, and I've been like, man, that guy's got some pretty good taste in his order. I think you would say the same thing about me.
Yeah,
I had a major problem.
I was overwhelmed. I wasn't as prepared as I should have. Minor setback for a major comeback. You haven't heard the last of me. Still, the fact that we can't even get one out of you because you just copied someone else's. Like, I should have looked at past Masters champions, and they probably were better. But anyways, it's easy to throw rocks when you're protecting your glass house right now, Phil. That's all I'm saying.
I'm surprised you didn't say teppanyaki. Like, I know you're such a big teppanyaki fan.
Wouldn't have been bad.
No, for your last meal,
Phil, you had
fried
chili.
Rice is pretty good.
You had chili, Phil. Just sit this one out. You had chili.
Here's what I'll say: Jordan's sushi as one of the appetizers. I think that one in terms of best. Oh, sushi as an app, dude. A couple little sushi bites. Oh, maybe like a little Hawaiian roll or like a 911 roll. Woo. Maybe some sashimi.
Yeah.
All right, let's get off here.
All right, yeah. Well, hey, thanks for that, guys. Hey, remember, tune in next week. Give us a like, give us a sub. We will see you next time. And as always, take care. Seriously, chili, Phil?